Okay. So you were talking about a let's move on to our next story. So you were actually talking about um, this Sony Pictures Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse Part Two, which is the one you were referring to. Domestic box office 68. I think it might be more than that, Kevin. I mean, the way the first reactions are coming out right now, this is going to be an absolutely huge movie. This is going to be really the start of blockbuster season. I mean, May is, but I mean, we're going to be in full swing. But so here is um, so the first reactions are out, okay? And I'm going to talk to you. This is from the Wrap, and so this is what the piece says. The first public screenings of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was held Wednesday night, which means we're now seeing the first public reactions to the film. And in case you had any doubts, praise the animation for the animated film. The first sequel to the 2018 Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was effusive, just shy, in fact, of universally acclaimed by the people who saw it. One step above masterpiece, it's an actual work of art, wrote Sean O'Connell of Cinema Blend. Real Blend co-host James Hamilton says, quote, it's darker, more powerful, and better in every way, end quote, than its predecessor. The Rap's Drew Taylor called it a stunning achievement and visually dazzling, but added, the movie's real superpower is emotional depth and its beautiful melancholy tone. And Stephen Woberson of Collider said he he wanted to push pause about 100 times to study the incredible artistic on display. Only the dissenters, the only dissenter who saw it was Ezra Baum, editor in chief for the Week Media, who dinged the film because it prioritizes fan service over a strong story. It truly feels like the first entry into a two-part story and gets predictable in the end. Across the Spider Verse is directed by Joaquin Haas dos Santos, Justin K. Thomas, and Soul co-creator Ken Powers, and written by David Callahan and Christopher Miller and Phil Lord, who will also produce. It stars Sharmik Moore as Miles Morales, Haley Stenfield as Gwen Stacy, the Gwen Stacy version, Jake Johnson as Peter B. Parker, all will return from the first film, and coming in is Brian Therese Henry as Jefferson Davis and Luna Laura Valdez as Rio Morales, his parents. So, um, here are a couple of the reactions here that I wanted to read to you guys because I think this is a uh, necessary thing. So, here are a few reactions. This comes from Mike Ryan. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is not surprisingly terrific. It's a bigger story, spread over this movie and the next, but it's still about Miles, just wanting to be accepted for who he is. There are a lot of Spider people in this movie. I laughed out loud 8 times, like 8 times. This is the Sean O'Connell piece. Okay, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse lives one step above masterpiece. It's an actual work of art. Every frame deserves to be hung in a museum. The jokes and to Spidey lore are perfect. It's outstanding. The best Spider-Man movie. Might be my favorite movie ever. Cherish it. This comes from Brian Davies. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is yet another resounding win for the Lord Miller produced universe. Haley Steinfeld really comes into her own as Gwen Stacy, and her scenes with Shea Wiggum's Captain Stacy are truly special. It's darker and sadder than I expected, but necessary. Um, I mean, and these go on and on and on. I mean, the moment this here's another one from Jake Hamilton. The moment Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse ended, I knew I had experienced a cinematic moment. I cherish this forever. If Into or this film is a new hope, okay, then this is Empire. Darker, more powerful, and better in any way. It's going to be a long wait until March 2024. How does this movie exist? Um, I mean, they go on and on and on and on. So I think that That being said, I think this is going to be huge. Um, this is going to be absolutely huge, and I think that um, this is going to do a lot of money. I've got to see the first installment myself. I can watch it on demand anytime I want, but I will be going to see this prior to the opening. And it's next week. It's next week, guys. That's how fast we're getting to this. Um, I can't. This is going to be so good. I'm really, and anybody I've spoken to, okay, in film circles, when we talk about Spider-Man, and you know, I mean, there are so many Spider-Man movies out there, right? They always put this, the first film, Across, in their top three every single time. It might be his first Spider-Man from Sam Raimi. It's going to be, maybe Spider-Man 2, but this is in there. This is in there. So it's definitely going to be a fun ride. I can't wait to see this, and it's going to be a blast. So, um, what do you guys think, though? Are you excited to see Into the Spider Verse? Or are you going to wait to actually uh, for everything to die down? Um, what are your favorite Spider-Man movies? Are you going to go see this opening weekend? Leave me your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll get back to everybody.